Today we're interviewing Carol Fleming, who's a personal communication coach and an old friend and colleague of ours for many years. Now, I know that this book represents a culmination of the work you've done. Give us an idea about why you decided to write it.
People always ask me, what book should I read? As part of our culture, they want to read a book. There is no book for them.
Mm-hmm.
They can read a book about theater voice, or your voice in singing, or public speaking, or any kind of speech therapy, but nothing about the personal improvement needs of the average person who simply wants to be better. That book was not there. I worked with teenagers who are going off to college. Let's say they've got themselves into Harvard. And then the parents start listening to their teenager differently. Like, how is she going to sound at Harvard? And realize, oh my God, I got a Valley girl here. That they've become accustomed to. And realize that she has adolescent or even childish speech patterns that embarrass them. So they might bring this young person to me to try to teach them a more mature way of speaking.
Can you give me an example of one of those speech patterns, what it would sound like before and then what it would sound like after?
Oh, Rick, I'm just totally grossed out by that. I mean, it's like you're all, curious like what I'm doing, and I'm just, well, whatever.
And how would they sound after coming to Dr. Fleming?
Well, I hope that they would speak in a way that does not draw negative attention. They need to get aware of of the mannerisms and the little things that bond them with their classmates, but create a wall with the general population.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a matter of ear training, and then showing them a different pattern.
Most of the people that will be watching this are in the business community. How does all of this apply to a business situation?
Oh, Rick, business is nothing if not communication. Within a company, between the hierarchies of the company, which presents all kinds of challenges. Because you're going into a hierarchy and you can talk with a peer group and you have a certain level you're all comfortable with, but how comfortable are you in assuming leadership with people who are below you? And you may have trouble thinking about people being below you, in which case you're not going to communicate authority very clearly because you're busy trying to be nice at the same time that you're being authoritative. On the other hand, there you are in the elevator with the CEO, and you are struck dumb of how you handle that. So I might have to teach somebody of how to talk on the elevator to a superior. Small talk, chat. How do you do it? Is it appropriate? Should you speak? Because in some cultures, it would not be good for you to assume that you can address the CEO on a personal level in the elevator. Now, that would not be true in America, where that's an opportunity to show them that you have self-respect and that you're not afraid and that you're a potential leader.
So you have the CEO in the elevator. You may not want to come across quite as such an authority.
Mm-hmm.
How would you change that a little bit for the CEO?
Well, I would try to establish a social relationship with the CEO. And this will sound strange perhaps, but the ability to do small talk, especially in the situation we're talking about, and with the person of much greater dominance, is one of the highest communication demands a person can face. We think small talk. No. It is the totality of relationships between people facing power differential. There is nothing more delicate and nuanced than that particular interchange. So you would want to establish friendly intent. You would want to give that person a lot of latitude.
I wonder if you get this kind of concern. People come in, they want to get better, and you can see some things that need to be changed. And then they maybe throw up a little bit of a resistance, and they say, but if I change all this voice stuff, aren't I becoming a phony? Because it's not really me. How do you handle that?
Well, of course, I have to deal with it a lot, because how you are is such a familiar territory for you that no matter what you say and how you want to change, your whole totality will fight you right from the beginning, that all of a sudden you're wrong, you're phony, you're weird, I better stop this, this can't be right. So that is a very common thing. So how we communicate, as I've said before, is who we are, and that is why we are so troubled by adjusting it. I could teach you French faster than I can get you to modify a small aspect of your English. Because you won't fight me with a foreign language, but you'll fight me with your old learning and habit to stay the same, unless it is deeply rewarding to you to change. And that can happen too.
So the pain of staying the same is much greater than the pain of the change, and then the person will move in the direction that will be helpful.
That's right. There has to be a strong carrot. The stick doesn't work so well, but it can if they're going to lose their job, unless they change their tone of voice or their attitude or the way they communicate within a company. That can be a powerful motivator if you handle it right. People don't like to change because they've been sent to the speech expert to be fixed. Because I have to deal with that attitude problem right from the get-go, or they are unable to learn. People come in that there's something wrong with me, I've got to be fixed. I've got to turn it around as fast as I can to show them what's in it for you on the business payoff level and on the social level, to maybe have some added skills that present you better.
How about giving us an example of somebody that came to you with a serious problem that might be affecting their income, their ability to be successful in the world, and they take your advice to heart and it's a huge success? What's an example?
Oh, I love to talk about Mary, who was an intern minister at my church.
Reverend Mary.
Reverend Mary.
Okay.
And she would, every year we have a new intern, and usually I'm available to do whatever coaching that might be helpful to them. Well, this Mary got up in the pulpit. She's petite and small. She didn't claim much space. There's a tiny little presence behind the big pulpit. And she reads her sermon with her face down and her eyes down, and she does what many people do. They think communication is all about words on paper, that you just run through your mouth, out to a congregation. They don't understand the complexity of human communication. So there she is with her little voice, and of course if you've got your head down reading, where's your voice going to go? Down into the pulpit. So the congregation comes to me, Carol, you've got to do something with this girl. So here comes Mary to my office. And I taught her a few basic things, because I never know if I'm going to see them again. So about projection, about talking to me. I'll be in the back and I'll wave at you, getting her face up, getting her eyes out, because your voice goes where your eyes go. So a few things, and she practiced that in her work with me, and she improved markedly while she was with me. So I went to church next Sunday, and she's in the pulpit, and she opened her mouth, and she was like that. Oh, smokes. What have I got here? Somebody who I was, most people I just hope, would you keep what you did in the office when you get out there? She not only kept it, she was exponential. She was so markedly improved that her eyes started sparkling. Like, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is something I can do well. So she really got behind it. So I worked with her a few more times, and she was voted valedictorian of her graduating class. This mousy little 5-foot-tall little Midwest girl voted valedictorian for her voice to represent her whole graduating class in the School of Theology. Okay. And I went to her graduation.
And here's Carol Fleming in the back with tears running down.
Yes. Yes. I mean, Mother Carol. Just incredibly proud to have been a part of her realizing her voice. Because you know what that means, really. When people find their voice and lift their head and speak out, now she can do great things which she could not do before. So gratifying, yes.
It's awfully good work.
It is good work.
Thank you, Carol, for coming in this morning.